Hey, did you hear that the University of Greenwich in London, which is a big school, it's got about 29,000 students, issued a trigger warning on Jane Austen's book Northanger Abbey? Well, the University of Greenwich is a pretty serious place. It's got something like 29,000 students. But the nobodies in their English department determined that Jane Austen was guilty of two crimes. One, gender stereotyping, and two, writing about toxic friendships and relationships. And I thought to myself, geez, that is exactly what Jane Austen does for a living, or did for a living. So let me pick this book up and see what's wrong with it. Well, here's the story. You've got this young gal, just like you do in all the Jane Austen books, Catherine Morland. She's young, she's pretty. She happens to be a big-time fan of what are called Gothic novels, and I don't think I've read one of them, but whatever it is, they're over-dramatic and things like that. And I guess her being hooked on Gothic novels is the moral or the 18th century equivalent of being hooked on keeping up with the Kardashians. Well, here's the story. She gets to go to Bath, England, with a neighbor, and I guess Bath, England was kind of the Las Vegas of early 19th century England. And when she's there, she meets two groups of people. One is the Thorpe family, and the two people there that are roughly her age turn out to be manipulative, lying, lowlife scum. But she hooks up with them. And the other group that she meets with is the Tilney family. And you've got a brother and a sister there. She ends up falling in love with the brother, Henry, and also their father, the general. Well, anyway, they get hooked up, and Catherine Morland, gets invited to go to their family home, Northanger Abbey. And when she gets there, her imagination, which has kind of been revved up a little bit by these Gothic novels, imagines all kinds of bad things happen to the general's wife. And at the same time that that's going on, the general has somehow or other picked up an inflated notion of the kind of money that Catherine Morland comes from. Well, she's a clergyman's daughter. She got a little bit of money, but not very much. And of course, there's all kinds of happenings in Northanger Abbey, and she ends up getting engaged to, and I guess ultimately marrying Henry Tilney, the brother in this thing. So there you have it. Gender stereotyping, I assume, is Jane Austen depicting this gal as having her mind bent a little bit by these Gothic novels. And I guess the problem with the toxic relationships and friendships, has to do with her relationship with the Thorpes. Now, Jane Austen, of course, at the same time is throwing in a little social criticism and commentary when she talks about the general's sort of obsession with the amount of money that she comes from. Me, I didn't find anything objectionable in any of this. How anybody could is sort of beyond me. But then, I'm not the kind of guy who you're going to find in the faculty lounge at the University of Greenwich. I'm just not going to be there. To me, I'd give this book a trigger warning that it's a little too boring. As a matter of fact, it's like, I think reading this book is kind of like rubbing your eyeballs with ground glass. I mean, Jane Austen does a fine job in painting different personalities, what they'll like, what their motivations are, and things like that. The problem is, I just don't give a damn about any of it. And a lot of it is, it kind of loses me. I mean, she spends 20 or 30 pages, I think, describing a walk on the sidewalk in Bath. What's the weather going to be, what's the time we're going to go out, who are we going to meet, what they talk about when they're on the walk. And I don't know, that loses me. I'd rather spend 20 or 30 pages reading about Jack Reacher taking apart a motorcycle gang. And maybe you would too. Anyway, I read the book. I really hope it did me some good. I really hope that the University of Greenwich gets a little dose of, I don't know, common sense, regular guyism, something like that. Uh, anyway, Northanger Abbey, I didn't much care for it. I do like Jane Austen, but I didn't care for this. Uh, that's my review this week. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to see you next week with something else. Don't know what, but it'll be something else. Take care.